Uvalde, Texas former top cop makes his first appearance in court.
The Mean Green Maniacs are back at it again with an exciting collaboration.
And there was plenty Glizzy gobbling this past weekend at Denton's Glizzy Fest.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Isabel Price.
And I'm Emma Burns.
Thanks, Alexandria. It looks like it's the perfect weather to get registered to vote. The deadline for Texas voter registration is October 7th. Don't get too far behind early voting and Election Day. Early voting will be October 21st through November 1st, and Election Day voting will be November 5th. There will be a polling location at UNT inside of the Gateway Center, room 52. Early voting will also be available by mail and absentee. To find out more locations, visit the website votedenton.gov. Right now, our live reporter Brooke Deering is out at the Denton County Elections Administration building to talk to someone who knows more. Brooke?
Well, guys, it is National Voter Registration Day, and who better to talk to than Denton's own voter registration coordinator, Jim Reynolds. Now, Jim and I have been talking, and Jim, I'd like you to go ahead and introduce yourself and what you do.
Sure. As you just said, I'm the voter registration coordinator for Denton County, and my department is responsible for bringing new applications and also canceling voters off that have either unfortunately passed away or moved out of the county.
Now, Jim, it's been probably really busy around the office. I mean, it's been, a large buildup of getting people to go out and vote. And I've run into people who have asked me if I have voted. But what are some of the challenges that you've faced over the past couple of months when recruiting new voters?
Actually, not too many challenges at all. We are seeing our big uptick in our applications for registration, and I think we processed about 300 today. And that number will continue to build as we get into early October when we get to the cutoff to register by October 7th on that Monday.
Wow, 300 is a lot of people. That's a lot of people for our Denton County area. So what does it mean for you, for students to go out there and, cast their vote and be a part of this upcoming election?
So I remember when I was about 19 and my father helped me to get registered to vote. And it was very exciting for me, and I wish that everybody that was my age, could be that excited about voting, because you can make a difference. And now is the time to do your part and be involved, and we're going to see what we can do with our votes.
Yeah, and that means a lot coming from you, especially from somebody who is in your position. You don't hear, somebody who gets to see it firsthand talk about why it means something to go out and vote to them. And despite the challenges, what steps have you and your team been taking to get students more involved in this year's turnout?
Sure. Well, we have people that give trainings on how to actually apply to vote and get their registrations approved. And so we have voluntary deputy registrars that actually run around on the college campuses and bring in the new applications for voters, and we are the ones that process those so folks that are going to school can vote.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking with me, Jim. Now is the time to vote, so make sure you're keeping up with those dates and locations for this year's voting locations. And I'm going to let Jim get back to work, so I'm going to pass it back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Brooke. It's gotten harder for Texas high schoolers at the top of their class to get into UT Austin. Graduating high school students in Texas will now have to be in the top 5% of their class to gain automatic admission in the university. The past state law required Texas public universities to provide automatic admission to students in the top 10%. But in 2009, the Texas legislature has adjusted the rules to leave space for the university to accept out-of-state students. This comes after the university received a new record of 73,000 applications this year. All right, Isabel, it feels like summer is not over yet.
I know, I was melting getting to the studio today, but let's sound it over to our weather anchor, Alexandria Teeters, to check out our current conditions. Alexandria?
Thanks, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we can expect for weather tonight and tomorrow. Right now, we're sitting at a 90 degrees. It feels like 93, so a little bit hotter, and we have a light breeze coming in from the east at about 7 miles per hour. Later on tonight, it is going to cool down just a little bit to 82, although it is still going to feel like pretty hot at 85. Winds staying the same, coming in from the east at 7 miles per hour. Tomorrow, it's going to heat up again. It's going to get to 88, although it's going to feel like 94. Winds are going to pick up a little bit, coming in from the southeast at 8 miles per hour. That's all I have for you right now. I'll have more details later. Back to you guys at the desk.
All right, thank you, Alexandria. We'll be right back after this break.
Hey Alex, this guy on the internet says he wants to give me money.
That sounds suspicious.
What do you mean?
Typically, strangers who promise you money on the internet have their own best interest in mind. They often use bounced checks, which will disappear shortly after depositing, but not before they've asked for some money in return.
So he doesn't really want to spoil me.
No.
Well, then what should I do?
The best way to handle it is to block and report the suspicious message, or even consult local law enforcement if you've already fallen victim.
So I guess we aren't going to Key West for spring break.
No.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh?
Closed roads or limited parking, transportation for UNT students this year has already been tough. However, with Denton County Transportation Authority deciding for a multi-million-dollar budget cut, things may only get tougher. Our reporter Kennedy McGregor is live at the Union Circle to give us more information about DCTA's budget cut. Kennedy?
Thanks, Emma. You know them, the infamous black and white minivans that get you around Denton for $2 or less. GoZone. Previously, you could use GoZone anywhere in Denton between 6 a.m. and 11 p.m. However, the Denton County Transportation Authority has advanced with a stricter budget for the 2025 fiscal year, which includes bus and GoZone changes. Most recently, GoZone riders between 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. are now redirected to nearby bus routes instead of the on-demand car service. GoZone has also expanded to Louisville and Highland Village. Bus routes also received a refresh, now arriving every 20 minutes. The DCTA has approved a $64 million budget for the next year. That's down $6 million from this year. City officials worry that 10 years from now, there will be a decline in transportation revenue, so they're preparing for the worst. They hope to lower costs and have plans to implement additional city partnerships and increase ridership through UNT. The new DCTA budget takes effect October 1st. Until then, I'll be taking as many late-night GoZone rides to Target as I can. That's all for this bus business. Back to you at the desk.
Attorney General Ken Paxton's push to allow firearms at the Texas State Fair has tanked, all because of something he said back in 2016. A few weeks ago, Paxton used to block the fair's recent ban on guns. In early August, the fair decided to ban guns from the general public in light of a gunman wounding 3 people during last year's fair. A few weeks ago, state lawmakers referenced an earlier Paxton opinion back in 2016, where Paxton contradicted himself. In that, he noted that the right to bear arms does not apply to a city that leases properties to a nonprofit. And in this case, the nonprofit is the Texas State Fair. In late August, the State Fair said the group had no plans of rescinding the restrictions.
Pete Arredondo, the former chief of police in Uvalde, Texas, made his first appearance in court yesterday. He and a former school police officer are being charged with endangerment of children following the 2022 Robb Elementary School shooting where 19 children and 2 teachers were killed. Daniela Ibarra has more of the details.
Coward! Coward! Face to face for the first time, frustrated family members feet away from the men they blame for failing their kids. Jesse Rizzo's niece, Jackie Cáceres, died in the shooting. He says he locked eyes with Pete Arredondo.
Having to see Arredondo there, it kind of takes the wind out of you.
Arredondo made his way into a courtroom at the Uvalde County Jail, the same place he was booked at back in June. He faces 10 counts of child abandonment or endangerment. Arredondo's attorneys are trying to get the charges thrown out, saying Arredondo isn't at fault. His co-defendant, Adrian Gonzalez, faces 29 counts. Gonzalez's attorney, Nicola Hood, says he still doesn't understand why.
Well, we believe he shouldn't be charged at all, that he did nothing wrong.
Families want justice. They're worried about Uvalde County DA Christina Mitchell getting the job done.
I don't have a lot of confidence in her, to be honest with you.
Ruben Torres' daughter called 911 during the shooting. After the hearing, he criticized the DA's handling of the case, and she kicked him out.
In my opinion, she's worse than the shooter herself.
Both men have pleaded not guilty or are due back in court in December.
I don't know about you, Emma, but today feels like one of the hottest days of the year.
I know it and I feel it. I think you might be right, but I think Miss Alexandria Teeters will have the details for the weather this upcoming week. Alexandria?
All right, thanks guys. Let's go ahead and start by taking a look at our local map. So over in Denton, we're staying at 90. We've got some higher temperatures over in Dallas and Decatur. We're looking at some lower temperatures more towards Paris and Stephenville. Moving on to our regional map, we're staying in the 80s and 90s pretty much everywhere. Right outside of our state lines, Oklahoma City is at 89 and Shreveport is at 83. So I think we need to kind of follow in their footsteps, bring the temperatures down a little bit. But we're still looking at 95 in Austin, 90 in Denton, pretty much high temperatures across the board. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our 7-day forecast. Tomorrow we've got temperatures at 96 with a 75 low, 0% chance of rain and very sunny skies. On Thursday we're looking at 98 with a low of 74, also very sunny skies. Friday we're continuing that trend of sunny skies and the trend of 98 with a low of 75. On Saturday we can expect a partly cloudy skies with a high of 96 and a low of 74. On Sunday, you can expect rain. There's a 5% chance of rain around 6 or 7 a.m., so unless you're out at that time, you probably won't get caught in it, but we're still looking at hot temperatures with a high of 92 and a low of 69. Moving on to next week, on Monday, we got a high of 89 with partly cloudy skies and a low of 67, and next Tuesday, we're looking at a high of 86, a low of 65, and partly cloudy skies. That's all I have for you guys tonight. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thank you, Alexandria. And when life brings its unexpected turns, it's easy to lose focus on what is really important. One Texas family experienced a life-changing event, but still found a silver lining in the chaos.
It's a quiet early morning in March, and the Piercy family is sound asleep. But that quiet morning is about to come to an end as the family's lives are going to change forever.
I think something's going on in the house. Get downstairs. And by the time I stirred myself awake, I leave my door and I can see smoke coming out from under my daughter's door.
I remember leaving a candle lit before I went to sleep, and I just didn't really think about it that night. And I remember waking up and my parents were yelling, and I didn't really think about anything else except just I need to get out.
We follow Layla as she reveals where the fire began.
This is the balcony where me and my mom had to run, and this right here is my room.
My daughter Layla lost pretty much everything in her room. There were a couple of things that weren't burned completely that they were able to clean, but the fire started on her dresser. Um, and, that's the dresser that she kept all of her important items in.
Right here was where my dresser was, and the candle was about right there, and my bear was just right there, like right next to it. When I was outside watching the smoke come from the house, I was just worried about my bear because I knew that it was on my dresser. I just kept thinking about it, and I kept asking everybody, like, can you get somebody to go in there and see if it's okay?
But she carried that bear around everywhere. That was her comfort zone. She took it to her first couple of days of preschool. She slept with it. She rubbed all the fur off of it. The day after the fire, my husband went to the store and he walked through the aisle and he found another bear that was similar, not the same. Nothing's going to be the same as Boo Boo. And he said, I'm going to get that for her. And I remember when he gave it to her, she just started crying.
With everything that's happened, I've found a new understanding of just being grateful of the stuff that you have, and I'm really thankful that my whole family made it out of there safely.
In the face of tragedy, the family found not an end, but a beginning, and they learned what home really means.
It is so good to see such heartwarming stories in the community.
I agree, and it really helps you remember what's important in life, family, and sometimes it's your favorite teddy bear.
The Mean Green Maniacs are finding even more ways to bring the hype.
And did you know that you're missing out on a national holiday? We'll tell you how you can still celebrate when we come back.
Craving something fresh, flavorful, and made just for you? Look no further than Avesta, your go-to destination for a delicious, full-service dining experience. Dive into our customizable omelets, expertly crafted by our talented cook Jonathan, who guarantees every bite is perfection. All our dishes are handmade, prepared with only the freshest ingredients. Explore our assembly line where you can choose from any of our globally inspired dishes, or customize your plate. It's that easy. And let's not forget dessert. Indulge your sweet tooth with treats from Clark Bakery. With convenient payment methods including card or flex, it's the perfect dining spot for any occasion.
It's football season here in Texas, and the Mean Green is packing up our stadiums.
I know it. Our segment anchor, Mackenzie Freeman, is a part of the student section mania here on campus. Mackenzie?
Thanks, guys. When you think of UNT, you may not think of their athletic programs. However, for one student organization, they are trying to change that narrative. This student organization is the Mean Green Maniacs, and they have worked hard since 2022 to establish themselves. For example, last year, they broke the student attendance record in basketball against SMU with 2,473 students showing up to the game. This week, I had the chance to talk to their leader and one of their founding members about their progress.
After a successful run last year, the UNT Maniacs are kicking off this year in full swing as they've already broken an attendance record in soccer.
You could see the growth in the student section overall, but the growth in general attendance has increased too because of the environment we bring to the game.
Look at soccer. They had huge showings for their first two games. And it's because UNT Athletics really pushed those two games throughout the entire summer.
One aspect of sports people don't always focus on is the crowds, but for the Maniacs, they believe it means a lot for the student athletes.
They will play a lot harder, a lot more energy, be a lot more talkative when there's a big, engaged student crowd.
Both Connor and Jake hope that the UNT Maniacs can help build North Texas into an all-sports school.
So, for me to graduate at the end of next school year, knowing that when I leave here, things are going to be better at UNT Athletics than how I found it, does mean a lot. So I can come back as alumni, look over at the student section, and just see them self-sufficient would be the best possible feeling.
I think that we are truly building something special with the Maniacs. It's not like it was a 3 or 4 year thing when McCaslin was our head basketball coach. This is a sustainable thing. And this is something that when I was a student section leader, I brought up 2 years ago. we are going to continue to expand the Maniacs.
To be a Maniac, there are no requirements except for showing up to the games and being loud. This is Mackenzie Freeman with Eye of the Eagle on North Texas Television.
The Maniacs are at every sporting event, and you're interested in joining the party, they will be at the UNT football game this Saturday against Wyoming. At this game, they will offer a variety of giveaways and have prizes based on the attendance mark. That's all I have for Positively North Texas. I'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
If you can't decide on dinner tonight, then celebrate National Monte Cristo Day. It's the perfect blend of sweet and savory, and our reporter Oscar Chavez has everything to know about the French disc.
Yes, Isabel. What is a Monte Cristo, you ask? It is a deep-fried sandwich with ham, cheese, and jelly that was available at the Bruceteria located on Chestnut Street. The hashtag Monte Cristo Day was spreading all over social media as students enjoyed the sandwich, brought to you by UNT's Dining Services and Division of Student Affairs. Stay in the loop with UNT's calendar as they provide tons of information and great events happening on campus. That's all I got. Now I'm gonna enjoy this delicious sandwich. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Oscar. Now, Texas sports are taking a bit of a hit this week, aren't they?
Yes, they are, but our sports anchor, Gabby Pippins, tells us how the rest of the season may look up. Gabby?
That's right, guys. We'll be discussing possible playoffs for the Texas Rangers, a new addition to the Mavs, and how the Dallas Wings did against the Fever right after this.
Good evening, my name is Amanda Hasbell and I'm joining you here today in the Union Parking Garage. Today we're going to be going over how to drive safely in the parking garage. Let's go see. Oh my god, this girl just got hit by a car. Let's go see what happened. Ma'am, are you okay? Are you okay?
Did you see that lady hit me with a car?
Yeah, we did. I got it all on video.
Oh my god.
Let's go over here and talk about how we can prevent that.
Yeah, not the hospital.
Well, right now we're going to ask you a couple questions on how we can drive safely in the parking lot. What are ways that we can be aware of our surroundings?
Oh, we can look both ways.
Jenna, also, how about putting the distractions away?
Yes, just like our phones, turning our music down, and also not focusing on our passengers.
Where can you get information on how to get a parking pass?
Transportation.unt.edu.
If you park in a garage, make sure you pay on the app or look for further instructions on how you should pay.
And remember, no pass, no park. Let's all try to keep our Mean Green community safe.
Remember, we're all in this together.
Drive safe.
The MLB playoffs are fast approaching, and the Texas Rangers are questionable. They're currently 12-1, and they just lost their 4-game series against the Seattle Mariners. Josh Young and Marcus Semien won 5-4. Quickly changed. Games 2 and 3 were narrow 5-4. Julio Rodriguez's 3-run home run. Homer. Game 4 had a similar outcome. George Curry pitched 7 strong innings and combined with Mitch Garver's 7-0 win. With injuries plaguing Texas, they're and the Dallas Mavericks are making a lot of new additions to their team, including signing sharpshooter and three-point shooter Klay Thompson. Klay, 3-year, $50 million deal with Dallas, something fans, myself included, are so excited to see. Klay brings a ton of playoff experience and 4 NBA Finals championships. Before his injury, Thompson averaged three-point percentages in the low to mid-40s. Now he averages around the mid to high 30s, a great feat for your average player, but ultimately a step down for him. Mavs fans hope to see pre-injury Klay return to be the third man Luka and Kyrie desperately need to get back in the finals. And finally, the WNBA playoffs are right around the corner, and the Dallas Wings took on Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever Sunday night. This game was huge since both teams were looking to clinch playoff spots, and things really came down to the wire. Dallas ended the first half 59-18 points, but Caitlin Clark wasn't far behind with 16 of her own. From there, both teams went back and forth until there were just 4 minutes left. Back-to-back 97-88, and Enrique Ngumbwale had an 8-0 run to get the Wings within a point, but it just wasn't enough to stop Indiana. 1 point loss, 1-109. Howard and Sabali combined for 35 points, the same amount Caitlin Clark made, which gave her a record-breaking 761 points in the regular season. Their win also let them clinch the 6th seed and a spot in the playoffs. Meanwhile, Dallas was unfortunately eliminated. That's all I've got for sports. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you so much, Gabby. Well, whether it's basketball or baseball, everybody loves hot dogs when it comes to sports. But to be honest, hot dogs are great anytime. And this weekend, over on Fry Street, they did it up with mustard and ketchup. ntTV's Andre Williams is in the studio with more. Andre, what about those dogs?
Well, Isabel, it was quite the sight to see. Like she said, this Sunday, Lucky Lou's held the first ever Denton Hot Dog Hoedown Glizzy Fest. Woo! Try saying that 5 times fast. Now try saying it 5 times fast with 5 hot dogs in your mouth. More of a challenge, right? Well, I'm sure the attendees at Glizzy Fest would disagree. We have our Cynthia Mendoza on the scene to get their thoughts.
For the first time, Denton residents were able to experience the magic of the Glizzy Fest and what a good hot dog can really do for you. One of Denton's very own, Lucky Lou's, hosts its very first Glizzy Fest. With the goal of raising money for the DFW Wiener Dog Rescue, this perfectly themed festival did just the job.
So we have a taco festival, which is always great. Everybody loves tacos. And so one day I was like, why don't we just do it with hot dogs? Everybody loves a good hot dog, right? And so we just came up with the idea to be just ridiculous and have fun. The theme was to be country but not Confederate. Like, let's all get together, support local vendors, and have a good time to help these little weenie dogs.
Welcoming over 1,000 people to enjoy their countless hot dogs, activities, and live music, Glizzy Fest has something everyone in the family can enjoy. When asked about the future of Glizzy Fest, this is what Mindy had to say.
There's some more like hot dog related games that I want to do next year. I really want Jennifer Coolidge to come. I want the big wiener mobile to come. They weren't available this year, so I'm hoping to get them for next year. I just want to make it bigger, a little bit more ridiculous every year.
The most anticipated event of the evening being the hot dog eating competition, where 4 contestants chowed down to see who could eat the most hot dogs in the shortest amount of time.
And on a whim, I was like, oh, I should join it, and that's how I'm here. I hoped, I know I eat a little fast, and I can eat a good amount, but I was hoping it would be a good day for me, and I'd win. It's all right. I got some free food. I got some socks.
With North Texas Television, I'm Cynthia Mendoza.
Well, doesn't that make you hungry? I know I'm starving now, so let me give it back to you at the desk so I can go grab myself a dog.
Thank you, Andre. I'm now hungry for a hot dog. I want a chili cheese coney after watching that.
I think I really could use a hot dog after this. But thank you so much for watching ntTV Nightly News.
And join us again tomorrow and at noon tomorrow and tomorrow night at 6 here on North Texas Television.